Welcome back, everybody. Episode 20 of Drop the Green. This week's overview, we're going to get into spotters, so we'll see how that goes. I think did pit crews last week. We'll try spotters this week. As always, we'll recap New Hampshire, talk about who stood out, get into Drop the Green bets. Ebbs and flows, that's all I'll say.
Exactly.
And then we'll do a little bit of Nashville Predictions, close with some stupid questions. As always, my name's Austin.
My name's Spencer.
Let's drop the green.
It's been a long time gone since the truth's been told, and I've seen my own. Hey, cut us low. Come on, save my soul with a bar guitar and a honky tonk crowd.
And we're back into it. Episode 20, like we said. So we'll go ahead and I guess I can keep talking, right? Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
That's all right. No, we just had the music going a little long.
Yeah.
Y'all couldn't hear it, but I was spazzing.
It was in our headphones.
But episode 20, we're already episode 20. What do you think about that, Spencer?
I mean, we're over halfway through the season.
Rocking and rolling.
We're keeping this thing flowing. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We love doing this. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
It is a blast.
We have a blast every time.
Mm-hmm.
So, as always, we're going to dedicate this episode to somebody. Let's start with you, Spencer. Who is your episode 20 going to be?
All right, man. I went with a guy this week. It's a real family man, faith-oriented, really good guy. Knows how to drive anything that he always drives. Really good family. Got to know him on full speed, just a little bit more inside of him, what makes him tick and stuff like that. And the last thing I'll say is he is dead to me, but my episode is dedicated to Christopher Bell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fresh out of the graveyard to a dedication.
That's right.
Full circle.
Mm-hmm.
That's good timing, too. Just coming off this
After a
weekend,
win,
so.
after a big win. I'm sorry to the Drop the Green fans. If we would have bet on him, he would have lost. So.
Right, no, that's true. We actually did every Christopher Bell fan a favor.
Yeah, we did.
And
You're
stayed
welcome.
away from him.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. But Norman, Oklahoma, where Christopher Bell is from. You familiar?
Yeah, that's where OU is.
Yes. Yeah. Very.
But he's got to be the only. I swear, I know he's the only Cup winner to ever come out of Oklahoma. He's like only the fifth famous person to come from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
In any aspect ever.
That's
Like,
crazy to think
it's
about.
like Carrie Underwood and Christopher Bell. that's all. I grew up in Oklahoma, but we don't have much.
No, you don't.
So he's kind of the pride and joy.
Well, good. I'm glad you.
We got something.
You got something. So he started racing in 2010, which is crazy to think about.
Nuts.
I mean, he's only 29, so you couldn't race much more before that, really. But he won Lucas Oil ASCS2 championship. Wasn't very familiar.
ASCS, I think they have a couple different series, but their big one is 410 sprint cars.
Okay.
It's kind of a regional 410 sprint car series. I'm assuming that's probably what he won.
Yeah. As the next couple things I'm going to say, he is a dirt racer.
Yes.
So if you didn't know, Christopher Bell is a
proper
big
driver.
Proper driver. He did that in 2010. Won a couple races there. Fast forward to 2013, he won the USAC National Midget Series Championship. In 2014, he was racing, kind of moved to asphalt. So after 4 years of being into it, moved to asphalt and raced super late models on asphalt for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
Nice.
And signed with him, did a couple truck races in there too, as well as World of Outlaws. I mean, dude was racing in every series. Every series he could get in on, he was racing in. Won his I think his third time in a World of Outlaws car he won at Jacksonville Speedway.
Nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. In 2015, he won the Eldora Mud Summer Classic. I don't know if you're familiar with that race.
The truck race?
Yes, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So he is racing with Kyle Busch in the trucks, doing that, and then so he did that from 2015 to 2017, and he only raced 2 years, and he didn't win a championship, but he did perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to I'm sorry. At the same time he was racing trucks, he was also racing the K&N Series Pro. So I know they don't race that much, but still,
he probably dominated it.
Yeah.
If I guess.
How can you have that kind of time? Imagine the miles that dude's put on.
Yeah.
Because if he's going World of Outlaws, Truck Series, K&N Series, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Living out of a suitcase, I'm sure.
Oh, 100%.
Kind of the story and they have him and Chase Briscoe have the same mutual friend. And they both, who's in the sport, and I should have done a little bit more research, but both of them moved to Charlotte kind of at different times, but lived on this dude's couch. And like that's what they were. So while he's running trucks and all that,
he's living on a couch.
He's living on a couch. But him and Chase Briscoe at one time were living together at this guy's house. Like neither one had a room. I wish I'm not doing the story any justice, but so him and Briscoe kind of go way back too.
Okay, that's cool. That's super cool. So 2017 finishes his truck thing up with Kyle Busch and signs with Joe Gibbs to race their Xfinity car. And in his first 2 years in that, he finished fourth and then in third in Xfinity car. Crazy. At the end of 2019, he signs a cup ride with Levine Family Racing, and he finished 20th. And I believe you told me off air that was the ride that Matt Benedetto left.
Yeah, so Benedetto kind of got pushed out of that just because they had Seabell on Toyota contract, right?
Yes.
That was a Toyota affiliate team. That's the team that ended up turning into 2311.
That's what I thought.
But, so Christopher Bell was in that ride for, what did you say, 2020?
Yeah, just that year.
At the same time, Eric Jones is kind of floundering.
Yep.
In the 20 at JGR, and they're like, we have a contract saying Christopher Bell has to drive in a Toyota in Cup next year. Levine shuts down, and so Eric Jones gets the boot. They put Christopher Bell in there.
They do.
And at the time, people were like, "Oh my God! Like, how could you do this to Eric Jones?" But
first year, do you know where he finished
in points?
Yeah,
he would have with Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, 2021.
He definitely made the playoffs because he won Daytona Road Course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess like sneakily deep, maybe like a 10th or 12th.
12th.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. Sneakily deep.
Sneakily deep. He's just very quiet.
Yeah, he's so quiet. Yeah. And that's what leads me to the next thing is dude's made the championship for 2 years in a row now.
2 years in a row. And it was kind of like a walk-off win both times.
Yes.
Both times.
Yes.
And I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, maybe after he had won. I think he's won 3 races this year now. Is that right?
I think so.
But I think maybe after he won the Coke 600/376.5, we kind of talked about it, like we're so used to Christopher Bell coming on late and being a factor, but with him getting this early of a start, I think it's dangerous.
Oh, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous, and he's so good at places like New Hampshire last week. He's good at Phoenix.
Yeah.
He's just had, I think those 2 years he's had mechanical problems. He's had like a tire go down, and I'm pretty sure he blew an engine last year.
Last year at Phoenix, he blew a brake rotor.
Okay, yeah, something.
Yeah, not
something,
his fault.
Not his fault at all. Sorry, I'm fact checking your how many wins Christopher Bell has here.
Oh, can I guess off the top of my head?
Yeah, but
in Cup this year, it's got to be 3. Because he won. Did he win the first Phoenix race?
Did he?
Right.
Three wins.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what the first one was?
Phoenix.
Was it?
Yeah. Good job.
Okay. Sorry.
I didn't know. I mean,
I got a touch of the tism over here.
Yeah, three seemed like a lot for Bell at this point in the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you said that, I was like,
usually you wait for the last 5 weeks to get 3 wins.
Yeah. and then still not win the championship.
Well, yeah, but no, I think it's dangerous.
It is
super dangerous.
I mean, he's looking at a 6-win season, which is
easily
easy.
I think it'd be to him at least, it'd be a disappointment if he didn't get 6.
Oh yeah,
because you started this strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like you said, he's such a late bloomer. But I mean, I like Christopher Bell a lot. Out of all the Joe Gibbs guys, he's probably my favorite. Besides maybe Truex. I do enjoy watching Truex run. Denny can, Denny's Denny. He's cool on Twitter.
Either love or hate him.
Yeah. But if anybody deserves one this year now, from the way he started based on previous years, I think it's Christopher Bell, because now he's finally putting those pieces together. It seems like he's like, hey, we are really strong at the end of the year. Let's try to just make it. Let's
Start
do
earlier.
Let's do something at the beginning of the year.
Don't take the first half of the year
So
off.
maybe we're not underestimated, because I feel like every single year, especially the past 2 years, Christopher Bell's ran in that car. We're like, oh, see Bell. Oh, he's in the round of 12. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, now he's in the round of 8.
Yeah, nobody talks about him.
No one. And then, oh, he's in the championship 4, and he's still the underdog.
Yeah.
And you know what happens when you put one of those guys at the underdog? You have a Joey Logano, and they freaking win.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
Kind of destroys every storyline possible.
Exactly. So
But the one thing I want to say about him before we move on, huge dirt guy. I think he's won the Chili Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I had that wrote down 3 times.
3 times in a row.
Three.
Row.
2017, 2018, 2019.
And the big thing about that was Kyle Larson had yet to win a Chili Bowl at that time. 1 year, he blew an engine leading. Christopher Bell won. Another year, C-Bell just absolutely schooled him. I think it was at a turn 2 or turn 4. Just last lap or 2 laps ago, something like that. C-Bell schooled him and beat him.
No way.
And Kyle Larson said that's the only time I've lost sleep over a race. And there was I always play it up to more than what it is, but there's a little bit of a rivalry there. Larson was young money, still young money, and big dirt guy coming in NASCAR, had all that hype, and then C-Bell was just quietly dominating him a lot of the times. But I think it's a shame that Joe Gibbs no longer allows him to even do the Chili Bowl.
I know.
I think not only is Kyle Larson really good at dirt racing, but I think that's helped him build his brand. He's brought more fans in. People maybe that had stopped watching, but also you just get more chances to see Kyle Larson perform and be good, and it builds that superstar status. I think Christopher Bell could be that same guy, but he's being held back.
He is. There is something to going to a local dirt track race and seeing Kyle Larson or Christopher Bell or any of these, a Joey Logano, a Denny, even if it's not a dirt track, a small asphalt track somewhere.
Like where you're going to be this Thursday.
Exactly.
I mean, that place is going to be packed.
It's going to be packed.
Because you have Chastain and who's the other Cup guy? William Byron?
Right. Is he? I didn't see that one.
Another Cup guy. I can't remember. I thought it was William Byron, but I
Maybe
could be wrong. But there's 2 Cup guys
racing in that race.
Yeah, but it's going to be packed for that reason. I mean, these are superstars.
Yes.
But with Chase Briscoe coming to Joe Gibbs, and then I think you can't keep ignoring what Kyle Larson has done at Hendrick, where they used to not let him do that at all.
Yeah.
He's come in. We see Kyle Larson get hot every summer when he's racing the most sprint car races.
Yep.
There's got to be a correlation. So I think now that you got 50% of the Gibbs guys that are dirt guys, maybe he kind of takes a step back and lets them race a little bit more. Because Chase Briscoe, I mean, I've seen him race sprint cars and late models in person.
Yeah.
He's always racing dirt. Now, he's not as good at it as I think Christopher Bell would be. But I don't know, you got half the guys there that can build their brand, and there's got to be value to that to a team, right?
Yes.
I mean, you would think.
100%. But we wish C-Bell the luck. We'll be cheering him on. And episode 20 to C-Bell.
Nice.
Who you got?
So I'm going to go, I'll keep it short because I actually did this guy 6 episodes. I did Tony Stewart for the 14. So I just kind of want to, I'll be quick, but we'll focus more on the 20 portion of his career. So Tony Stewart, May 20th, 1971, Columbus, Indiana, if you remember that from episode 14.
I do.
But 1995, he became a Triple Crown winner.
Ooh.
And what that was all 3 of USAC's major championships he won.
Whoa.
That year.
In 1 year.
Yeah. So kind of, and I think we discussed it last time too, but that's kind of where back in the day, you're going to get a lot of exposure, a lot of people looking at you, come drive my car. You don't have to bring money, right? You're just good. So he ends up going to IndyCar first. He's a 1997 IndyCar champion, which I think is just kind of forgotten.
That's
a big deal, right?
That is a huge deal.
He's an IndyCar champion.
Yeah.
So all through his IndyCar career, he was kind of making some Busch starts, Xfinity starts, if you will. But 1999, he decides to go full-time Cup racing in the number 20. Oh yeah, we didn't show C. Go ahead and throw Seabell's car up real quick.
Okay.
Him justice.
Yeah, look at that.
He's always got really sharp paint schemes, too.
He does. DeWalt. They're simple, but, I mean, not my favorite tool brand, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a Ryobi guy?
Yeah. I'm more of Pittsburgh. Whatever Harbor Freight's got on sale, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Worse, you somehow went worse than Ryobi. That was impressive.
Yeah. No. So good look at his car, and then we'll flash it here, baby.
So there's our two legends that held the sport together for a long time.
For real.
But you got Tony Stewart there on the bottom in the iconic 20 orange Home Depot car.
Mm-hmm.
So 1999, he goes to Gibbs. First full-time Cup season, like I said, he did a little bit of Busch and things like that. He casually wins 3 races his rookie season and finishes 4th in points.
Of course.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So wins a handful more races, but 2002, he gets 3 wins and wins the championship.
Wow.
So we just talked about this guy, first full-time season in Cup 99. 2002 goes ahead and wins the championship. Now, if you remember 2 episodes ago, I asked you, Bobby Labonte, I said, what manufacturer do you think he won in?
Yeah.
And we said Pontiac.
Yeah.
And like a grade A jackass, I said 100% he was the last guy to win a championship in a Pontiac. So he won 2002, the last year Gibbs ran Pontiac. Tony Stewart won his championship.
Oh, my God.
On the records, we got to correct it. Tony Stewart was the last one to win a championship for Pontiac.
Hell yeah.
And I'm 100% sure. There's no one else it could be. But I didn't know that. Like I for some reason, 2002 does not
2002 seems like
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, he did that in a Pontiac, which is pretty crazy. So
that is crazy.
He keeps winning. 2005, he gets 5 wins. Now, not only is that a big number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those 5 wins came within 7 races.
Oh my
So
God.
He won 2, took a week off, won 3. I might get this wrong, but at one point he won 3 in a row. So yeah, wins 5 races within 7 races, goes ahead and wins his 2nd championship.
Yep.
In 2005. So kind of as we talked about in the 14 episode, Gibbs ends up switching to Toyota. Kind of as the story goes, Tony wasn't crazy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Was kind of a loyal Chevy guy at that point, which is weird because
he runs Fords.
SHR went to Ford eventually.
Yeah.
But also wanted to kind of have an ownership stake. Always was a big AJ Foyt fan, so wanted to model himself after that. But 2008, you'll find this interesting. He did race 1 year for Gibbs in a Toyota, and he won 1 race. So in his time at Gibbs, he won races in a Pontiac, Chevy, and a Toyota.
3 different manufacturers.
3 different manufacturers.
How many guys have done that?
I mean,
it's got to be a small list.
So Kurt won
in a Toyota, Chevy, and a Ford,
and a Dodge,
yeah. Whoa.
So I guess he was 1 away from the Which I don't know if there's been anyone that's ran a Pontiac, Chevy, Ford.
That's true.
Dodge.
Yeah.
Toyota, I guess.
Yeah.
No, that'd be a deep stat.
That would be a deep stat.
So ends up leaving. If you want to learn more about the 14, we talked all about it in the last episode. But real quick, 49 Cup wins in his career. 33 of them came in that 20 car.
God.
Which is kind of crazy. We're talking 99 to 2008.
That's so many.
Dumb stats.
Yeah.
Really. So 49 Cup wins in all. 3-time champ. Hard to find. Really hard to find. I can't, especially in this day and age, there's not many 3-time champions. 11 Xfinity wins, so not terrible. 2 truck wins. You'll find this funny. 6 starts in the truck series. 2 wins. Kind of like Truex.
Truex,
right? We just talked about Truex last week. He
had started 3-1-1.
Yeah, he had a 33%, and this guy's got a 30% win percentage. So just never hop in a truck again.
For real.
Why would you?
But
so that's Tony Stewart 20. Obviously, if you ever just want some entertainment, type in Tony Stewart interviews.
Yeah, dude.
And sit on the couch and laugh.
Yeah. He's we need another one of him.
I agree.
I agree. We need and I think that's what's so cool about these young teams sometimes is like and I've always heard like any publicity is good publicity, because at to a certain extent, but that was the guy that wore his emotions on his back, on his shoulders. Mm-hmm. You saw what he was feeling, and he would tell you.
You for better or for worse.
Exactly, and you did not have to leave the track knowing, hey, does Tony not like me? Is he mad at me? You would know. You knew. And to me, that creates not just rivalries, but like your fans are more passionate about you because they see you as more real of a person.
Yeah,
and
I think more relatable.
Exactly, you're more relatable, and I think that back in the day, if podcasts were as big as they are now, Tony would have like a Joe Rogan type of podcast. I think he would too, yeah. Dude, it would have been legendary.
And he, and just to talk off that, we hear all the time, these guys have to be buttoned up because these big corporations sponsor them or whatever. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Tony Stewart ever had a problem getting a sponsor.
Zero.
And you talk about a walking liability.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tony.
Home Depot never left.
Nope.
And then when he starts his own team, sponsors are knocking at the door.
Yep.
Trying to get in. So obviously you have to have talent.
Yes.
To run your mouth like that. But if you have the talent, do it.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Cool guy. Definitely worth talking about twice. So
for sure.
He didn't race another number, so this will be the last time we talk about him.
Sadly.
But episode 20, Christopher Bell, Tony Stewart edition. Once again, same car, same team. So pretty cool. I like when that happens. But let's jump right into our overview, and we can kind of make this a quick one because I think it really jumps off what we did last week. Last week we did pit crews.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like putting this spotlight on other aspects of the sport and different parts of these teams because we talk about it being a team sport all the time. I'll get into a little bit of a history. And then I kind of just want to talk. There's a little bit of spotter drama this week, right? Yes. I think that's kind of really why I wanted to get into it. But the first recorded use of a spotter, what year?
1962.
50.
Oh my God!
Blows my mind.
Wow.
But so
how could they even see?
I don't know. And kind of reading up on the history, it's just wild the things they were, why they even thought they needed one in the first place. I don't know why that's on their mind, but that's NASCAR. We're always looking for an advantage. Yes. So even back then, they're like, we need an advantage. But originally, they were using two-way like walkie-talkies that came from World War II. I mean, what else do they have, right?
Yeah, it's nothing.
So those end up being outlawed. Brian France has been griped at so much about it that he says that's an unfair advantage. So obviously, they make their way back in, but one weird one. So in 1952, a team owner, Al Stevens, I believe was his name, if I wrote that down right, he had a radio bolted to his floor.
A radio?
Like
an FM radio?
No, like a old two-way radio.
Okay.
Right?
Like a CB.
Like not a CB yet, but some kind of
1962. That's a little early.
Some kind of ancient radio, right? Mm-hmm. He runs that at the Daytona Beach Course, which is a 4.2 something mile beach course.
Huge.
Right? He had 2 spotters. So in 1952, we got a guy with 2 spotters.
What are they, just sitting in the turns?
I don't know. They're sitting in the ocean. I don't know. I don't know where they're at. That's like a road course, so they just ran on the beach.
Yeah.
So, but it just once again, we're 4 years into the sport at this point, and some guys like, what, I need 2 spotters because we go to road courses now. They've got multiple spotters.
Oh, they got like 6.
Yeah. So, but just this has started that long ago. But the first person to win a race with a spotter, because now you got to remember we have spotters, right? Some people don't have them. Some people don't need them. Some people don't want them. Some people are like, I'm gonna have one.
Yeah.
The first person to win a race with a spotter was in 1960 at Daytona.
Whoa.
So you can imagine being at Daytona if you don't have a spotter,
Dude,
and some guy does. He's gonna be making moves that you're like, how did he do that? Well, he has a spotter.
Yeah.
Right.
He has some guy telling him. What everyone's doing.
So imagine if you had that advantage, the dude next to you doesn't. You're gonna school him.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
There's no reason you shouldn't.
Hold up before you go any further. I couldn't even imagine racing at Daytona. I know they're going probably a little bit slower than they do now, way less safe, but having to look in your rear view mirror going 170, or whatever they're going 150.
Yeah. And the only thing I can say, and it was still hard, right? The only thing I will say though is that now these drivers can't move their neck really.
That's true.
Because of the Hans, but I mean, back then they're probably like, we're probably just
doing full body turn. They probably had side view mirrors.
They probably did. Yeah. But so they did play around with some CB radios in the 70s, and there's a lot of history on this if y'all want to look into it. But just kind of to get us up to speed where we're at. Mid 80s, we finally get kind of radios similar to what we have now. Yeah. The technology, so we're catching on, and at this time, the teams are buying seats in the grandstands and putting their spotters in them, right? Because
they don't have a spotter stand.
They don't have a spotter stand, right?
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And then 1990, spotters are required for all major races.
Okay.
Whatever that means. So I'm guessing...
It's such a NASCAR rule.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Who knows what they consider that to be. I'm going to guess super speedways.
The 600.
Maybe like a 600.
Yeah.
Bigger tracks. But 2002, spotters are required for all races. Not that long ago.
Oh.
Does that surprise you? Because it surprised me.
22 years?
22 years is when it was required for all tracks.
If you would have just asked me, I would have said, and even though you're going through the timeline, I would have said like mid-80s.
Same. That's exactly what I was thinking too, yeah.
Spotters mandatory.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like we kind of care about safety in the mid-80s. You know?
Yeah. And maybe it's one of those things where in 2001, everyone did have a spotter, but there was just no rule.
Yeah.
But that's officially when the rule was made, which still is not that long ago.
No, it's not.
But
it's in our lifetime.
For sure. So I just kind of wanted to get into that. Obviously, we know spotters a little bit better now. Now, they're using multiple radios. They've got channel 1 with the driver, channel 2 with the crew chief, so they can talk straight to the crew chief or straight to the driver. Some of them are looking at SMT. A lot of them have lap time up, right, so they can read lap time.
They have that iPad.
They have that iPad. Some guys are still pretty old school, but a lot of these guys are former drivers, maybe that didn't make it or on the back end of their career.
Yep.
So they're able to tell their driver, hey, he's diamond in the corner, he's making speed, yada, yada, yada. So that kind of helps a little bit. Kind of what I want to get your viewpoint on. NASCAR is pretty unique with their spotter roles. There's a lot of racing that, and this still blows my mind, there's no spotters in 410 sprint cars.
Yeah.
How? I don't know.
That's what I was going to bring up because we just went to a dirt track very recently, and you had told me this a couple times, but their spotters are dudes with poles.
Stick guys.
They're stick guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but they do signage. It's like a baseball signs with their sticks.
And pretty much all they're saying on their sticks is like, if you're running first, and the guy behind you's making up time or whatever, and I'm from what I understand, everybody has their own signals, right?
Yes.
But they're basically telling that guy like, go high, make time, like don't go there.
Yeah.
Whatever. And how these dirt late model guys are seeing that. And it's funny, they're wearing construction vests. They've got those poles, fluorescent yellow, but still they're sideways looking at a stick guy.
Yeah. Even and again, even under caution or how the laps don't count, they're still moving. Like you have to be looking in front of you, especially if you're say sixth. You're having to watch the guy in front of you, see your spotter for 4 seconds when you pass him, and get a sign from him.
And pick out your stick guy.
Yeah.
Next to the other stick guys that are wearing fluorescent yellow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild. So kind of what I want to get your opinion on. I think their spotters are necessary safety wise. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons they had the mandate put in. There was some kind of incident on practice, where somebody had went out there with no spotter. there ended up being an accident, maybe in a fatality. I can't remember, but from a safety aspect, we've got a moving circus, right? Every week,
Yes.
of cars coming in and out. You need to have a spotter for that. But now we've got this video camera right inside the car, and these guys are making blocks based off that camera. If you want to pull SMT or driver data, there's a whole group of people sitting in Charlotte scanning radios and doing all those same things. So do you think, and it's kind of a loaded question, right? But do you think spotters are necessary now?
No. Okay. Yeah. They're not. I mean, not like what they used to be. Like you said, the driver, if the driver needs to communicate with somebody. I feel like even if it's an official, you know what I mean? Because like you said, it's a moving circus. If you are 3 laps down and when the caution comes out, until you get around to the thing, you wouldn't know, except for the lights. I'm sorry, there are lights, so there goes that out the window. So you know what I mean. But having some type of officiating, I feel like, is the best way. But the spotter's role, absolutely not necessary at all.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of been watered down, and I think that's kind of where I wanted to go into this. We had the incident with Kyle Larson and his spotter, and whether that's just their relationship or not, I think there's a common thread here. If you always see spotters, for lack of better terms, just starting shit.
Yeah.
Like always. There seems to be a lot of ego up there. Mm-hmm. And these guys kind of think they drive the car in a way. And I'm sure, you listen to the radio at Daytona and Talladega, and they're just inside, and it sounds, I'm sure they're doing a lot right. But a lot of times, I just think they're talking.
Oh, 100%.
And it's important to let them know if they're outside or take this run or all that. But especially if you listen to, we were listening to Blaney's when he barely beat Harvick at Talladega.
Yeah.
His spotter talked the whole last 3 laps.
Yeah.
But sometimes it was just like 3 back, 3 back, 3 back, 3 back, 3 back. And maybe that's what those drivers want. Obviously, we don't know. But like, I was annoyed.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, dude. Like,
quit talking.
I understand.
Let me drive.
He's 3 back.
If he's 3 back, if he gets to 2, let me know.
Yeah, know. And if he's on my ass, I think I'll feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're kind of talking high level, and we don't really know. But to me, it seems like to be one of those positions that's evolved to almost an unnecessary level.
Oh, it has. And again, technology is one of those things that's changed that to where you don't need that to that certain extent. The thing I will say about it, do you think that when they're spotting, you think the spotter like puts himself in the car? Because to me, it's like me and you would spot differently. Okay, say I was spotting for you. Okay, I see a dude that's 3 back. I'm telling you that, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, do you think you have to have trust in your spotter to know that what he's saying is almost true? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if I would exaggerate something, or in my eyes I see it this way, in your eyes you see it something different, that's where the miscommunication comes in. But you can throw that out the window with all the technology that they have at their disposal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all it would take is like, hey, they're making time on the bottom, Larson and crew chief. They're making time on the bottom. He's just looking at data, Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be the spotter saying it.
It doesn't. Not anymore.
Yeah. And I think to your first point, you see a lot of, when things are going badly or they're looking to make changes, they will make spotter changes.
Yeah.
And I remember one specifically, Michael McDowell won the 21 Daytona 500. Mm-hmm. So Truex had always had the same spotter in his Furniture Row days, Clayton Hughes.
Yep.
And he decided to make a spotter change to do better on super speedways. He was like, just whatever, right, wrong, or indifferent, I think I need a change on super speedways. That's my problem. And Clayton Hughes went to McDowell.
Yep.
Kind of took a little step back. First race together, they won the Daytona 500.
Yep.
That luck, maybe. It was the spotter what was making Truex do bad on super speedways? I don't think so.
No.
I think he still just has terrible luck like a Larson.
I think it's spotters are like the first one hired, first one gone.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Yeah. If stuff is going south, especially on these big teams, you're the first one gone.
Yeah.
Because you have the most communication with the driver, and you're not getting rid of the driver necessarily. No. Everyone has their own spotter. If Chase was to up and leave the 9 car, he's probably bringing his spotter with him.
Yeah.
And
to the relationship side, Chase is a great example because he had the same spotter for a while.
Yeah.
You know who his spotter is now?
I know his name, but I can't think of it.
His cousin.
Cousin. That's
he brought
right.
His cousin, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's another one. It's like, is it that important, or are we just giving cousin a job?
Probably giving cousin a job.
I mean? We might sound like assholes right now, but I think from the outside looking in, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of spotters that do a lot of work that's probably unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get that information is getting fed to the driver either way. Either way. So it's interesting. Those guys make stupid money.
They do.
I've heard like $200,000 to $250,000 a year.
Cool.
And they're, they come in for practice qualifying the race.
That's it.
And that's it. They're not really in team meetings because why would you be?
Yeah.
You might have separate meetings with the driver, especially before a Daytona Talladega. Here's what I like to hear.
It might be in a competition meeting or something.
Maybe. I think it's more one-on-ones with drivers.
Okay.
Because I think
you don't think they'd be in a competition meeting with like Ford? If you get all the Ford spotters, get everyone on the same page, or you think like the Ford drivers go to this competition meeting and then they have to tell the spotter, this is what we're looking.
Hey, buddy, a Ford has to win.
Okay.
I mean, what else would you?
Yeah, and true.
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But these guys, like, what's today, Wednesday? They're doing nothing NASCAR related today. They didn't do anything NASCAR related yesterday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Thursday. They're going to fly in for practice qualifying in the race.
Yeah.
Sweet gig, if you ask me.
Hey, if anybody's looking for a spotter.
But, and it's funny, we talked about Kyle Larson's spotter, so I don't think we even got into it, but, Denny kind of ran Larson hard.
Mm-hmm.
No harder than Larson runs anybody else. And I think that's why it pissed Larson off, because, it's not like Larson's getting ran any different than he runs people.
100%.
And if anybody understands that, it's Larson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so his spotter's like, you know why he does that every week? Because you let him. Larson said, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Word for word.
Yeah.
Just same way, and then radio silence. But it's like, why is that? Yeah. I think that's that spotter ego. I think the higher up on the stands you get, the bigger your head gets.
100%.
So.
Because, and that's with anything, I do feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a team sport, but when you're, say, an offensive tackle, you're just as important as the quarterback. You know what I mean? If you don't make your block, the quarterback can't throw the ball.
He can't throw the ball.
Can't throw the ball. So in this spotter situation, he feels like without him, Kyle Larson wouldn't be where he's at. And when the spotter tells the driver something and the driver doesn't listen and it turns out bad, he loves that probably. Mm-hmm. He's like, he feeds off of that. Like, I told you. Right. I told you.
Which is not
good.
Helpful, right?
No, it's not. It's not. And I don't know where I was really going with it. Just kind of making that team thing of like that is how, to your point, of how they can get big heads for literally no reason. They don't do anything.
I think if you'd rather, I think a good way to sum it up, if you'd rather be right than helpful.
Yeah. Don't be a spotter.
Don't be a spotter.
Yep.
But it just seems like you see a lot of that. You know what? And once again, we don't know these guys' relationships. Maybe Kyle Larson tells him to shut the F up all the time.
Maybe so.
Whether it's racing related or not.
I mean, we've heard how crew chiefs and drivers talk to each other.
Truex and James Small.
Dude. I mean, they're barking at each other.
That's just how we do it. Okay. It's not working.
I feel like if me and you, if you were a driver, I'd be barking at you and you'd bark right back at me, but we'd have a good time. We would be fine.
But
there is some type of professionalism though when you get to that level. You know what I mean?
I think so too, and I think it's also, look out for your guy that employs you. And don't make that public. Don't be like why are you running down? Whether you believe that or not, like that's not the time.
Yeah,
say it.
Save it later when you see him after the race between you and him. Perfect.
And I think if anybody's going to make a comment like that on that team, it needs to be Cliff Daniels.
Yes.
Who is the team leader.
Yep.
Not the dude that got there on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the guy that hasn't been at the shop all year.
No, and the last point I make, which is kind of not really related, but is to Cliff Daniels since we brought him up. Dude gets down off the pit box for pit stops.
Yeah, catches tires.
That is so crazy.
I know.
That's someone you want to work for.
Yeah.
You know?
That's somebody that could say, you know why he does that? Because you let him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once again, not the guy on the roof that got there 4 hours before the race.
Yeah, like when my boss at work, Forrest, tells me, "Hey, dude, I really need you to weed eat today," and you're like, "I'd rather kill myself," you know. And he's like, "Yeah, I know, dude, but I just need you to get this done." And I work at a golf course, so say you go weed eat the first 9 holes, and you're driving back to the shop, take a break, and you see your boss with a weed eater on 13. You're like, dude, that to me, that's what I would feel. That's what I think Kyle Larson feels when he sees something like that, you know, of just guys going the extra mile. And I do think, and we've shit on spotters here for a minute. I do think there are good spotters, guys that know their role, know what they're there to do. They're there to just tell the driver what they want to hear. Yeah. Maybe some of those guys want to hear how far they are back. Like you said, Blaney spotter talked for 3 laps at Talladega. That's a long time.
Yeah. And obviously Blaney's okay with it.
Yeah, Blaney's fine with it.
If anybody's gonna get on their crew,
it's gonna be
Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, right? It is. So I hope you guys enjoy. Anything else on spotters you want to say? Yeah. I do think there's good things. I do think there's good spotters out there, but do we need them? Probably not.
Yeah, it's just it's progressed to the point where I think where it's I think it's busy work.
It is busy work. I do. Okay, back up just a little bit. When you go to a race, you always get radio, though.
Right.
Who do we mostly listen to that entire time? The spotter.
Okay.
When you say, I mean, that's not all the time.
Yeah. But I'm thinking like radio communication. I feel like it's, and I could be wrong, but probably the spotter's talking more. But as far as what I think is the coolest and the most useful, is crew chief.
100%. But you have to filter through that.
You do.
You do. Because I mean, there's only, and to me, it's the hardest time is like when it's under a green flag round. If you've never been to a race, what we're talking about is you can rent a headset or you can have a radio and you can tune in to these frequencies that they have and listen to what everyone's talking about, which to me is the best fan experience.
I think so.
If you, and again, we'll move on from this, but if you go to a race and you've never been to a race before, please go before the race, go get one of those scanners, and to me, it changes the whole experience.
It does.
Dramatically.
It makes the experience.
Dramatically. Because it's nothing that you're ever going to get on TV. I know they make clips of it 2 weeks later of what everyone said. Hearing it live it's unfiltered. You are hearing straight from like literally what the coach is thinking before they run this play. I mean, that's what they're doing. When you hear Cliff Daniels come over the radio after someone just spun out and you hear him say something silly, you're like, what does that mean? It's definitely some kind of, code. Yeah. And that kind of stuff to me is really cool. And to hear the banter, and you said it perfectly. The knowledge that we want to hear, the stuff we want to hear is between the crew chief and the driver.
For sure.
Yeah. But some of the spotters do a good job of calling and they're easy to listen to. But I think I had a question there, and I don't even remember where I was going. No, I asked you if you had to get a scanner. You answered it. Okay. I think that's it. Sorry.
We'll go ahead and move on.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can bash spotters all day or say they're good, but it's just I think it's just an interesting little part of the team that often gets overlooked, and
probably for a good reason.
Now we've got the in-car camera, and honestly, as hard as it is to pass now, I think if you got rid of them, it might improve the racing.
It could. It really could.
But we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
We don't know anything, but we don't
know anything.
Our really educated guess.
Yeah.
But we'll go. You mind grabbing me another?
Yeah, I'm sorry, brother. I was about to ask you.
I gotta get rid of these things. They've been in my fridge.
Drink them up, big dog.
I don't want to. They're not good.
They're not good.
But we'll go ahead and recap Loudon, what is your good race rating?
You're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this.
I think I'm gonna enjoy the time of hearing you talk about it.
Dude, this was a 3-2 for me.
Okay. Just give me your rating real quick, and then
3-2.
I'm literally gonna let you take the rest of it.
3-2.
I really am. Okay. I was very happy with it, honestly. I mean, I had my complaints. I think you have valid complaints.
Yeah.
But I got to see a whole race. I got to see.
I'll give you that. That's what got it at a 3-2.
Okay.
That's what got it at a 3-2. I mean,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Other
give
than
it,
that, it was unreal.
Okay, let me give a
Yeah,
rating.
go
and
ahead. I'm
just
sorry.
gonna take a deep breath because I'm gonna let you get it all out. I was gonna give it like a 7.7.
Yeah, you're stupid, but okay.
I think that's low. But
Okay.
all right, go ahead. Well, the first.
No.
time here-
Go ahead if you have more.
No, I don't. I literally have nothing. I mean, I was as soon as it started raining, I was like, they're not gonna put the wet weather tires on because they never do, and it's gonna get dark, and then they put the wet weather tires on. Terrible officiating, right? And I'll let you get into that. But we saw a race. We saw something different. We saw dirty air didn't matter because all of a sudden we're going 5 wide.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we got guys wrapping the apron or up on the wall. And then it's getting dark and we have all these cautions, right? Because these guys that get paid millions of dollars lose their brains when there's either weather or darkness coming. And so I just kept thinking they were going to say, okay, we're just going to call the race now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we've seen them do it before, but they didn't. So I was happy with that. Pretty compelling racing when there was racing. And I'll let you take it over.
Yeah. So if you're gonna put, I'm all, and when I say everything I'm about to say, I am completely fine with wet weather tires. I think that's a good thing that we need to try to do. Okay, but to me, we need to test these things to see what their limits are. Okay, Goodyear needs to know how wet or dry the track can be. Because to me, if we're going to go back racing, we should have went back racing like 45 minutes before they put those tires on.
Yeah. I agree. That's a good point.
To get them.
We wasted a lot of daylight.
Yes, for zero reason. If we have wet weather tires there, get standing water off the track and then let them puppies go. Okay? So, the racing was good. Dude, I will say that. I know my rating was really bad, but the racing was so good. But the officiating, the not knowing, the stupid, you have to. Okay, this is the one thing I want to make. When drivers are having to drive through standing water to cool down their tires, maybe give them the option to put slicks on if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, if that's what they want to do.
If that's what they want to do, you should not. There should never be in the middle of a race non-competitive pit stops. Maybe Again, that gets into a safety issue, which I'm okay with if that's what they deemed, because I don't want to put anybody's safety at risk. I mean, you had cars coming in there. If they were on slicks, they couldn't stop. That's
bad.
Yeah,
right?
it's really, really bad. Yeah. So I don't want you to think I wanted someone to die, but to me, non-competitive pit stops are dumb, because we talked about pit crews. There is literally not saying that anybody could have beat Seabell that day, but dude, I would have loved to someone do something crazy and put 2 tires on and go to the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you said, dirty air didn't matter. Who knows what could have happened? But the big thing of them, the cautions were valid, but the caution laps were unreal. To me, again, they drove around for forever just waiting.
They were trying to make the green flag run shorter.
Yes.
Because they were going to burn those tires off.
Yes.
And they only had, I believe, three sets.
3 sets.
Yeah. And then they were out.
Which
is like, if we're going to do this.
Okay, maybe here's an idea. Race earlier when it's wet.
Yeah.
Or
bring more tires.
Or let them go to slicks.
Yeah.
Literally, the track in the middle of it, you could see the color change. It was dry.
That's what I thought was interesting, because obviously Larson was like, let's put slicks on.
Yes.
And then he said on his podcast it wasn't ready for slicks, and I think that's so interesting. Like, there's 2 people.
I think he's covering for NASCAR. I do.
I don't think Denny would.
Really?
No, hell no.
Okay,
No,
I don't know.
He didn't care. But I guess my point with that being, I heard multiple drivers say it both ways, right? which I think is fascinating because there's the guys on the track. So if Kyle Larson really thinks he needs slicks and Cliff Daniels like, let's put slicks on, and Denny Hamlin says it's not ready for slicks, and he's on wet weather tires, I mean, talk about compelling.
Yes.
Because what if Kyle Larson goes in there and busts his ass?
Yes.
But what if Kyle Larson goes in there and he has to just gingerly get through these corners, but he can gap him on the straightaways because he has all that grip. You know, it's just...
That's a race.
I know, that's a race.
That's
a race, yeah. But we're so... I think you have to take a step back, not to be an apologist, because I agree, it was terrible. I think it's terrible officiating when we finally went back green, and Cliff Daniels was on the radio saying, NASCAR would be great to know if I can pit for tires.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't even told him, right?
No.
That's typical NASCAR.
Yeah.
But
in the middle of the race.
In the middle of the race, yeah. But I think it's really compelling to give them that option. And then, maybe Cliff Daniels is the hero or maybe he looks like an idiot.
Yep.
Either way. And we can tell the difference, too, because the wet weather tires had the white pattern or the white lettering.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed that, but they have white lettering on the rain tires. Mm-hmm. So we would have been able to see
who was on what.
Yeah, who was on what.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint is when you watch any other sporting event, and I know there's so many other factors in our sport. There's so many other ones, but you have to have some type of protocol. When a quarterback gets hit in the head, it's reviewed for targeting. That's what happens every time. Okay, if it rains, have to have some type of protocol. And again, I know it's so different at the speeds and safety is key, but literally go to a monsoon and see what those tires will do at what speeds. Somebody will drive that car. I can guarantee it.
They will.
You will give them an amount of money and just work them up to it. Something that you can figure out. There's enough smart people at Goodyear to figure out, hey, well, this is what we could potentially run. Now, you professional drivers, you could maybe do more or whatever, but the uncertainty, you literally took pit strategy, threw it out the window for half the race, which to me was ridiculous, caused all kinds of problems for my bets, which just made me even more mad.
Made it worse, right?
Yeah, I'm just fuming over here sitting, and to me, when drivers are doing stuff that literally doesn't make sense, like driving through water, maybe
we've seen that before. To be fair, in like the Roval, when we first started going to the wet weather tires, that was how you had to keep the tires from blistering. And it looked even more ridiculous there. Because they'd be driving all over the road course and. But like John Hunter Nemechek driving through
the grass.
You're like,
that's so smart.
What are we doing?
That's so smart on his part.
On his part, you kind of look like buffoons.
Yes, we look. Like why are we even racing?
Yeah,
like if we can't race, then let's not race.
Do you want to hear my solution?
Yes.
Okay. So you're Rickware Racing, right?
Yeah.
You're a little low on funds.
Mm-hmm.
You always need more money.
Yeah.
Next year we're going to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And there's rain. You're going to love this. There's rain in the forecast, right? And you know that there's a possibility we might have to put wet weather tires on. So you offer the ultimate fan experience. You charge $1,000. If somebody pays, when we inevitably have 5 non-competitive pit stops, if you paid for this fan experience, you get to go change the tires.
Dude, that's so smart.
What does it matter?
Yeah.
Because that, like you said, pit crews no longer matter.
Yeah.
So me and you are gonna go change tires.
We could.
Yeah.
If you offered it for $1,000, I'd be there.
Rickware Racing suddenly becomes one of the biggest funded teams.
Yeah. Yeah. Put you in a fire suit.
Key partnership with Chevy.
Yeah.
Or Ford. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I mean, non-competitive pit stops are.
I just want to be really ridiculous. I'm trying to be as ridiculous as this was. Honestly,
it was. Yeah, it was. And if you watched it, to me, the reason I gave it the bad rating was the officiating. The racing when they did it was awesome. Mm-hmm. But to me, like when you're worried about how long the tires can last, when Brad is running 5th and is losing all kinds of grip And he's like, can we just go change tires? No, you can't. Because we want everyone to be the same. Well, of course Seabell's going to win that. Of course.
Oh, the other thing I didn't like either is so it was Reddick and maybe McDowell that got up to first and second.
Yes.
Because they were low on fuel, right? They stood out.
Yeah.
And then that first non-competitive pit stop, they let everybody fill up.
Yeah.
I was like, well, God. And even Denny on his podcast, I mean, that's his car. The 45 is his car. And he was more or less like, this was BS.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it was. So, I mean, I think that's where a perfect example of when NASCAR butts in and makes it non-competitive, it's really not non-competitive.
Yeah.
Because now there's advantages and just it's not a level play. Let them work that out.
Yes.
Let them work that out.
Say, hey, we're going wet weathers for this. I'm fine with the first one that you have to put on is wet weather tires.
Yeah, right.
You have to.
Because we went from dry to wet.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
just put the tires on.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But when you clearly see the track drying, I mean, color changes on TV, you are seeing that. You're hearing from different drivers wanting to do different things. Let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go. You're taking away from me everything that you're doing, and that's to me the biggest thing. Of you're taking away from racing that I want to watch because you're doing non-competitive pit stops, and you know that these tires have to make this long of a run, so you're just waving them around. Shorten the race.
Yeah.
If you want to do that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, don't tell me it's a safety thing when you Brad spins out and you hold a caution until we almost T-bone the poor guy and kill him.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
pick
unreal.
Pick your battles. You know?
Unreal.
Is it safety or do we not care about safety?
Yeah. No, literally he spins. I'm like, thank the Lord. We're going to get a caution.
Because it was a legitimate caution.
Yes.
A legitimate caution.
It's not like he hit the wall and then got back up to speed. He is sideways stopped. He couldn't get the car fired.
Could not get it fired.
And I'm pretty sure it was in turns 1 or 2. Wasn't it? It had to be.
Yeah, and I think he was like he was on the back stretch out of turn 2 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, they let him race all the way back around.
No, they got all the way to the start finish line before they threw it.
Yeah.
Because I had literally saw Brad spin. JD texted me and was like, dude, they're going to let this guy hit the poor guy. And they still hadn't thrown a caution. He had enough time to text me.
Right.
I received the message, read it. I mean, I'm not a fast reader.
Brad's still in there flipping switches.
Yeah, he's trying to get this thing fired up. And he's like, I'm about to die.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
It's if you throw any curveball at NASCAR, they are swinging and missing. That's all I'm saying.
Every time.
They're the A&M, you know?
And I don't, well, go Vols, by the way.
Go Vols.
But I don't know how you fix it because we come in here and they had a perfect opportunity to make that, and I think people still did find it compelling and liked it, but it's like they cannot help themselves. Anytime something is going to be a legendary moment for them, they're like, well, how can we kind of leave with a black eye?
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, you could punch them with an uppercut to the face and be like, dude, we're about to get a knockout, and somehow they give the other side life.
Yeah,
somehow.
Every time.
Every time. It's like,
yeah, it's disappointing.
It is.
So I want to end this by saying, at Richmond, we had the same gripe, right?
Yep.
And we were like, and I was here kind of being a little bit sticking up for him, saying, well, now we know, right?
Yeah.
Now we have a baseline. Okay, well, evidently not. So
throw it out the window.
So now there's no excuse to ever do this again.
No.
You know what I mean? And like you said, there's nothing wrong with a non-competitive to get the tires on.
Yes.
Because that only makes sense.
Yes.
That only makes sense to do, right? But
after that, it's back to normal racing.
Back to normal, right?
It's back to normal.
And if you don't trust the guys that are on the track and the guys that are on the box, like, are you worried about them making a decision that's going to wreck them? Because last I checked,
you don't care.
Well, last I checked, drivers don't want to wreck.
Yeah.
So
they want to win.
They want to win, right? So, if Kyle Larson was able to come down and get slicks, let's say he goes into turn 1, he's not going to go 100%, right?
No.
He's going to feel it out.
Mm-hmm.
And if he feels it out and it's not going to work, then guess what?
They'll
pull back in and change back tires before they fence it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they will.
I checked, it's their job to do as good as they can in that race.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I want to leave it, and we'll let them have it from there. But anything else before we go on to standouts?
No. No.
Okay, so Carson versus Corey. Carson's up to 12.
Yep.
Corey only has 6, and he was only 2 spins away from 6 spins in this race, which I think is pretty impressive. If you think about it, he almost wrecked as many times in this race as times he's beaten Carson Hocevar the whole year.
That's insane.
So, I mean, it's hard to find good stats for him, but that's one.
Corey is looking shabby.
He did get pinched up in the wall. Claims he broke a toe link and all that. Maybe he did. I don't know. It's more fun to not. But he wrecked under caution.
Yeah.
Under caution, total of 4 times. And then Carson Hocevar burned his wet weather tires off. 100% intentionally spun himself.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're all in agreement
Yeah.
there. Spins, gets behind Corey with like 8 laps to go, maybe less. Still beat him by 3 or 4 positions.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's a fun little thing to watch every week. Honestly.
It is.
Do you do this? You kind of
Oh yeah, I'm checking my bets, watching the race, enjoying myself, and I'm like, "Where's Carson at?
Yeah.
Where's Carson at? Oh, Carson's at 12. Where's Corey at?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's probably in 15th." You would think. Oh, he's in 27th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last car on the lead lap.
Yeah.
He's 29th and 30th is in the garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it really is something fun to watch. It makes me want to pick. Maybe next year we'll pick someone else, or even like a week to week, kind of call it like a mid pack.
Yeah.
Or like back marker challenge or something like that. It's fun to watch, and not that because they never really show the racing.
No.
But every time that ticker comes by, one thing I've noticed, the guys that run back there, those positions change.
Oh, all the time. All the time.
More than you would think.
Yep.
Because I've never really paid attention to really 20th to 30th, but
Never.
when you've got something like this, you're like, dang, there'll be 7 positions down, 5 up, 2.
Yeah.
It seems like a hornet's nest.
John Hunter Nemechek goes from 27th to 21st. You're like, how?
Yeah.
I didn't get to see any of that.
Didn't see any of it. Yeah, it's wild. I wanted to ask you first before we get into Kyle Busch. Michael McDowell, once again, this reminded me of Talladega, right?
Yes.
And how many times can you say, well, I'm going for the win, this is what I have to do, before you just look like a complete buffoon? Evidently twice, right?
Yeah. He's already crossed the threshold.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. You can't make a move like that.
And it wasn't for the lead either, was it? Or was it? I thought it was for second.
I think it was.
Seabell?
Yeah, Seabell was still had already gapped Blaney.
Yeah.
And Blaney is to his outside, and I mean, I understand why he did it, because he knew if he didn't get it there, he wasn't ever going to get it, but
it just makes you wonder, though, like, I think he's 20th in points, maybe 22nd, somewhere around there.
Ooh,
he's pretty far down.
A 7th place finish would have been huge, though.
But you think, like, if you finish 2nd at Talladega and then 7th here, I mean, that's 40, 50 points right there.
Yeah.
At least between those 2 races. So I don't think you can always be on the attack mode. And especially when it keeps costing people, like, your credibility is going to go way down.
Yes.
I mean, it's making me look at him a little bit different for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of turned into a weapon.
Yeah, he's Carsoning it up.
He's Carsoning it up.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous that you are throwing yourself in there. If it's a playoff cutoff race, you're 16th, you need something, I completely understand. This race was such a wild card. You're in such a good spot with minimal laps to go at that point. I don't remember, but it was...
Yeah, and also think about, I mean, just have some awareness of, I think Joey was running like 30th. Bubba was in the garage.
Yeah.
Somebody else ran that cut line. Bowman had the engine issue.
Yeah. He was 30 laps down.
Yeah, and I think McDowell's like maybe like 80 points. It's a lot of points, right?
Yeah.
But I think I would lean on the side of points when everyone's having that bad of a day than trying to win a race from 3rd place.
Yes.
Because once again, that was not for the lead.
He's going to have other opportunities to win a race.
Yeah.
Yeah. At any road course, I mean, he's going to be a top tier guy at one of those.
Well, we're going to the Chicago Street Course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just take your 3rd place finish.
Yes.
Once again, if you're at Chicago Street Course, all those guys on the cut line are probably not going to do well.
No. Yeah.
Just, I maybe it's mathematically, maybe he's more points out than I think he is, but still, if I'm running third, I'd still lean more on points than continuing to throw a Hail Mary.
Yes.
Because then I think
he's throwing a Hail Mary on first down.
Yeah, every time, and it's like now let's kind of make up scenarios like we do. Let's say he's running first at a road course, at Chicago street course with a late race restart. All these guys have seen him drive like this. They're going to put him in the wall and not think twice about it. Because now that this is how you've been racing people, there's no reason we can't race you the same way.
100%.
And say, well, I need a win.
Yep.
You have nothing to fall back on.
Yeah. Imagine he's running right next to Shane on a restart. Shane's crew chief is going to get a call from Justin Marks, be like, put that dude in the wall.
Yeah.
I don't
Shane's
care.
smart enough to watch. I mean, that's the reason he races Austin Hill the way he does.
Yep.
He's like, I've watched these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to race them how they race everybody else.
Yep.
So I don't think he's doing himself any favors.
It's not smart.
It seems super desperate. I don't know. I don't like it personally.
Yeah.
Does Kyle Busch win a race this year?
No, dude. Kyle Busch is in rough shape.
That'd be depressing.
It would be.
What's crazy is I feel like they've had speed the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they've had speed, but really they keep ending up on the hook.
Yeah. They can't.
I think it's like 5 weeks in a row.
They can't get out of their own way. I don't know if it's Kyle Busch making mistakes, whatever it is. It is literally this whole team is just shooting themselves in the foot when they actually bring speed to a racetrack. And we know that they're not bringing speed that often, sadly. I mean, it's probably half and half if they actually have speed. I don't think they'll ever. At this point, I would be willing to bet that they don't contend for a win. You know what I mean? Contend.
So I'm gonna,
and that's crazy to say from Kyle Busch.
I hate it for him. Andy Petrie just stepped down.
Yep.
As
RCR's
executive vice president of whatever BS title is. Dude, I've never been an Andy Petrie fan. I can't really give you a reason why. I've just never. Sometimes you just see somebody and you're like, that's a know-it-all. That's how I've always felt about Andy Petrie.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like he's really old school. I think my headphones just go ahead and talk real quick.
Yeah, can you hear me?
No.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yep.
Now y'all can see my ears.
Oh.
But,
Dumbo.
I think, and I'm just kind of making this up as I go, but I always felt like Andy Petrie was kind of holding them back a little bit.
Okay.
As far as just not, he's so old school, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy back in the day that would make spoilers with a window motor on him that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, maybe I'm being hard on him and I don't know, but I felt like there was probably a little bit of a rift there between Kyle Busch and Andy Petrie. It just seemed like it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. And maybe I'm just wishing this more than thinking it'll happen, but, we've got this big change. We're going into Nashville. Chevys are good. We'll get into it. Maybe this is where. Who saw Ross Chastain winning this race last year? I didn't.
Nobody.
I didn't.
Nobody.
So.
I think
but you
that's
can bring me back down to reality.
That's a Hail Mary. I mean, you're talking, that's insane. Maybe a top 10. To me, that's a win for them at this point. Like, that's how bad they've been.
Anything where they can see the checkered flag.
Yeah.
While rolling.
Yeah.
Would be a win, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is embarrassing how bad they've been with the talent that they have.
Yeah.
Like,
with a guy that's 39 years old.
Yeah.
Prime. And they're giving him this. His steering broke under caution last week. I mean, it shouldn't happen.
No.
Last standout, and we'll be really quick. I want to get onto your bets really bad. Chase Briscoe to the 19.
Yeah. Good for him. The one thing I will say about it is I heard an interview after they announced it. Oh, before I get into that, who dropped it? Seabell? Mm-hmm. Did Seabell?
Did you see that interview?
Yeah.
Did you see his whole face turn red?
Yeah.
Does that not blow your mind that somebody as high profile and like has millions of dollars is that humble enough to just like get embarrassed?
Yeah. He knew he messed up.
I know, but still, I think I'm just trying to, I guess, say like how much of a regular dude Christopher Bell is.
He is.
That's just wild to me.
He again, to go back to Christopher Bell, he's a dude that you would see at Walmart or Kroger and go, You wouldn't think twice.
No.
You wouldn't go, that guy's on TV every week. You would never think that.
He's probably shopping for T-shirts at Walmart.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. He's like, what? Oh, he's like, I can get Kellogg's brand for $7. What? Great value.
Great value.
Yeah, 10 cents. I'll take that. Yeah.
Clipping coupons.
Yeah. But so Christopher Bell breaks the news. And then the big thing I wanted to say about Chase Briscoe was they asked him about Tony. And you know what Tony thought, because I mean that's kind of Chase Briscoe's guy.
That's his guy.
You know,
that's his idol.
That is his idol. And I don't know if you saw it, but Chase Briscoe was like talking. He called him on the phone and was telling him, "Hey, Tony was wishing him like, hey, I hope you find a ride and whatever." He's like, "Oh, I found one." He was like, "Oh, the Wood Brothers car?" And he was like, "No." He was like, "Who else did he say?" He said like 3 other mid-tier teams and he was like, well, no, he said like 4 teams. He said Wood Brothers and like 3 other teams, and then it was like, okay, who? What'd you get? he was like, I got the 19, and he was like, let's go. Apparently he was hype for Briscoe, and to me that's big because he could have took like just a different path. With that, you know, he really could have, and I know it's not his fault that probably his team is closing or whatever, but I think he loves everybody that races for him, and to see him get so happy for a guy like Chase Briscoe that has poured his heart and soul out for that team, and the results, and I've been a big, not Chase Briscoe hater, but I just
skeptical.
I
think that's fair. I think it's more than fair to be skeptical.
I'm very skeptical.
We don't know.
But he has no excuse now, and to be that happy for a dude that raced for you, to me, just shows everything going on at Stewart Haas is definitely for a reason. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any ill will of why they're closing or just going down to one charter or whatever it is.
Yeah, which is weird.
It is
so weird.
It's so weird. But
that's got to be Cole Custer, right?
Yeah, right.
That's what I think.
Right.
That's what I think.
I mean, who else?
I don't know.
No one else.
His dad is still going to be the president.
Yeah.
So
they're not staying. No one else is staying.
No.
Priest is gone. Yeah.
I mean,
Noah's
if you're Rodney
gone.
Childers, I'd be like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
he'll be picked up somewhere.
I think if you're, which I don't know, honestly, if you're RCR, I'm hiring Rodney Childers as my VP of competition.
Yes.
Why not? I mean, that's somebody to change the whole culture.
Yep.
It's only a 2-car team. Mm-hmm. You know, we know we could probably pair him up with Kyle.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've heard about Rodney before is he was very, very apprehensive to get Kevin when he did, because he had heard Kevin on the radio before. And he was like, hey, man, I respect you. I know you're a talent. But if you talk to me like this, not doing it. If you talk about the team, we're not doing it. We are all together. Like, kind of like Cliff does with Kyle Larson.
Yes.
Like, to have that confidence and that power to say, not that I'm going to boss you around, but like, this is how it's going to work, and this is how we're going to do it.
He understands that Rodney Childers is in charge, but the face of our team is you, and we hold you to a higher standard of where when you talk to me, you're talking to everybody on our team.
Yeah,
almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's a team, right?
It is. Yeah. It is a team. You don't understand. I'm in there with the guys that are tightening up the headers and, you know, doing whatever for 9-10 hours a day so you can go drive. Yeah. And you need to treat me with the same respect as they should be treated with.
Yes.
And that's so huge, I feel like. So big.
Yeah.
Of just knowing where your leadership is and how you stand with everybody. Because I know when you walk into a job and you enjoy the people that you work with, oh my gosh.
World of difference, right?
It is.
World of difference.
Yes. You don't mind showing up 20 minutes early to talk.
Because you're all in it together.
Yeah.
Right?
You show up on Monday 20 minutes early. What'd you do this weekend? You know, I know they're working the weekend, but you know, same type of thing. They get they probably get Monday off or something.
But it's not work at that point.
No,
right?
it's not. It's not. So.
And I know Rodney, and real quick, I know we kind of jumped into Rodney Childers. I think Chase Briscoe is going to be great.
Yeah.
I think there'll be growing pains. I think we'll see what he's really made out of.
Yes.
I think he is talented, but you never know. You put a top cup ride's different, right? We see it all the time. we'll see how that goes. I think it's weird. We talked about him being close with Tony.
Yeah.
He did the reverse Tony, right?
Yeah, he did.
He went SHR to JGR.
Yep.
Tony was JGR to SHR. So I think it's just kind of weird. One quick note on Rodney Childers. I know they've publicly said him and Josh want to stay together.
Oh.
But if I'm Richard Childress, once again, I think VP of competition would be huge. But if not that, I'm writing him a blank check to come be Kyle Busch's crew chief.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Kyle Busch is going to start looking.
Yeah. Yeah, he's...
And why wouldn't he, right? I don't blame him one bit, but like, I'm going to give Kyle Busch everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you put Rodney with Kyle Busch, to me, that's... What do you think? Doesn't that seem like a great pairing?
That's their only chance to win.
Yeah. And to keep him around at this point.
Yes.
He's got 1 year.
We haven't seen anything from Austin Dillon in forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he won Daytona somehow.
Right. But what I'm saying, I think Kyle Busch, his crew chief is Randall Burnett, who got Tyler Childers, all his RCR wins. There's nothing wrong with him, right?
No.
But give him to Austin Dillon.
Yep.
Because Austin Dillon's went through crew chiefs like bad ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
And, paying the same money, whatever. And let's see.
Yes.
Let's see. And if not, you've got a great crew chief waiting for whoever comes in to that other ride. But give Kyle Busch Rodney Childers.
Yes.
And make it happen. And I'm sorry, I know him and Rodney and Josh have gotten really close and they want to leave together, but I'm telling you, blank check.
Kick Austin Dillon out. Get both of them.
Well, see, that I've heard, and it's all speculation, but I've heard like Noah Gragson at RCR.
Oh, in the 3.
Because of the Bass Pro and everything.
Yeah.
They're already on the 3 every week. So you kind of get, to me, Bass Pro, it's almost like their strategy is we want to cover the whole field.
Yeah.
So our Bass Pro cars will be up front with Truex, and then we'll bring up the tail of the field.
Yeah.
So we'll just have a Bass Pro sandwich.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm sure they don't want that. But that's kind of the rumors I'm hearing or have heard. Not that I'm like on the inside, but that's what everybody's saying is Noah to RCR. But there's no word that Austin Dillon's out either.
So they're getting a charter somehow?
I don't see how they would.
Yeah, there's no way they can afford that.
No.
There's no way.
I would take that, once again, I would take that money and say,
Yeah.
Rodney Childers, I'm on my knees.
Yeah.
Begging you, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you anything in the world.
Yes.
I'll give you anything in the world. Come be Kyle Busch's crew chief and talk about a combo.
Yeah.
I think that's Kyle Busch is in the right place in his career and his life that a Rodney Childers could come in there and do something.
Oh, for sure.
And once again, if that doesn't work, then we know for sure. Like, dude, just close the doors.
Yeah. You're done.
You're done.
You're done. If you can't win with those two guys at the helm,
there's
shut
a problem.
Shut her down.
And what happened when Kevin and Rodney Childers couldn't win?
They shut her
They
down.
shut the
They shut her down. They shut her down.
It tells you all you need.
But then again, I mean, Kevin was. You're not gonna shit on my boy like that.
I'm not.
He was competing.
That's what I'm saying.
Kyle Busch ain't even competing at this point.
But that's what I'm saying. If those two can't get it done,
Yeah.
that tells you.
Yeah.
Shut the doors.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
But all right, well, let's get on to drop the green bets. I heard we had a stellar week, right?
Dude, the week was absolutely awful. We lost everything.
Can you imagine? You know what live bet I wanted?
What'd you
at
want?
The break? I wanted will NASCAR actually put wet weather tires?
That would have been a good bet.
I would have said no.
That would have been like plus 150 probably.
I know,
for yes.
Anybody that betted, they still would have made money for sure.
Yeah,
everybody would have went no.
No, yeah. No, we lost all the 3.5 units that we bet last week.
What are we down to now?
We're down. We got back up to 6 2 weeks ago, and then we maintained right at 6 last week, and now we're down to 9.5. So we're just down 9.5, and I think I got some bangers this week. I'm feeling confident in these, honestly, and I'll lead you off with the biggest one we got, and then I kind of spread some money around. But there's definitely a trend if you'll find it. But starting off with the big one, we're gonna go Chevy to win plus 120, 1.5 units.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going big.
Stats say so, right?
Stats say so. They haven't lost here
since Cup got here.
Yeah, since Cup got here, they haven't lost here. to me, the only person to worry about's Denny. If we're being like completely honest,
But
I know
also, where's he been?
exactly. He's just kind of been mid. No offense to Denny, he's just been mid. He's
I hate that word, but go ahead.
I know, but he has been. I mean, he's just been middle of the road, average.
There you go.
Yeah, mid. But,
no cap.
yeah. So I'm riding with the Chevys. I mean, you're gonna have all of Hendrick, exclude Bowman, sadly, possibly.
Yeah, why is he not good here?
I don't know.
Every time, to me at least, this is a tangent. Every time the race
It's named after your
is named after your
sponsor.
sponsor, you're supposed to dominate.
Yes.
How many times have we seen Joey Logano do burnouts through the Pennzoil 400 logo?
Every time.
It seems like every time. Yes. And then Alex Bowman's just like 23rd at the Ally
he's just
400.
not good here.
Come on, dude.
But I will say I marked that one out because he's plus 160, which just seems like free money for how good he's been. Like
For
he's just
top 10? Or?
for a top 10.
I don't think the value's there.
Really, you think it should be higher?
I think it should be higher. Aren't his stats here not great?
His average finish is 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you have to take into account what he's done this year.
No, I'm not shitting on him at all.
Okay. But so Chevy to win. I mean, you're gonna have all of Trackhouse. You're gonna have all of Hendrick. I think out of those 6, one of them's
We're getting
probably
something.
we're getting something. I feel
Or Kyle
like.
Busch just comes out of the...
Yeah. Again, I mean, maybe I'd be okay with that.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So 1.5 units. This is where I get a little squirrely, probably on you. Half a unit. Daniel Suarez top 10. He's been really good here. His average finish is 11th. So now his highest finish is 7th. So but he's consistent right there. To me, that's pretty good value on a dude that finished
What was his odds again? I'm sorry.
plus 270. I don't know if I said that.
I might have just forgot.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I don't like it, but
Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I mean, the stats back you up,
The stats back me up.
but I just hate it.
That's
I just hate
fine.
it. I don't know why. I just hate it.
Yeah. Okay. Plus 270, half a unit. Everyone mark this down. If he hates it, I'm going to look at bets that he absolutely hates if this hits.
I don't know. He just hasn't done anything.
I know, but he's not that far off in points. He's coming to a track that's Trackhouse home track. He's going to want to perform.
I'm sure he wants to perform every week. You just can't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he's taking all these weeks off? Like,
Yeah, I do.
I think he wants to win every week.
Well, he's going to get a top 10.
Might be a crazy thing to say, but I think he wants to do good.
He's going to get a top 10.
Okay.
Okay?
I hope he does. I just hate that. I hate that bet.
It's fine. That fuels me.
I hope it feels Daniel Suarez.
Yeah, that fuels me. And then for my last top 10, so we have half a unit on them. So now we got another unit to play with. This one's going to be insane. And I was between Kyle and this guy. And Kyle's value just wasn't there for how piss poor they've been. And I couldn't do it. But this is kind of a free unit or a free half unit. So take it as you wish. Ricky Stenhouse, top 10.
You're going to go a half unit?
Half unit. Plus 700. We've hit these before. His stats aren't bad here. His average finish is 14th,
Okay.
which is not... He has one top 10 out of the 3 that we've been here. 14th ain't
Hasn't
bad.
been bad this year.
He hasn't been bad.
It's not been bad.
You get him running 6th. He's not going to pull a Michael McDowell. He knows. We have to... We're going to just take our medicine and go from here. And I'd feel very confident if in the last 40 laps, if he is running they'll probably do some type of strategy, which could work out, which could not, which bite us.
He's coming out top 10 in Iowa. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
So
It's not out of the realm.
No, it's not out of the realm. It's not like they haven't had speed, and I do think the Chevys will have the most speed here. Him half a unit. So we got one more half unit. And I told you before the show I wasn't going to do it. Larson winner, half a unit, plus 500.
He's plus 500?
Yeah. I couldn't pass it. Plus
Wow.
500 to win. Plus 500 to win.
This has got to be our first win bet since All-Star race, maybe?
Yeah. All-Star race when we hit tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so
I mean, it's not. It's never a bad bet to.
to bet like Kyle Larson to win a race.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Tricky, but
And then I have one more in our.
Are we going 3.5 again?
We're going 3.5 again because I and the only reason I'm doing this, and we'll kind of get into it at the close, but I'll be there. So I want to see something crazy. Ross Chastain winner plus 850 back to back.
I like it.
Goes for 2. I'll be there cheering him on. He's racing on Thursday night. He'll be primed, ready to
Plus
go.
800, you said?
Plus 850.
850.
We've hit 850s before. I love a good 850.
Okay.
So
Seems to be our number.
it does.
Okay.
So that's my
not. I mean, that's not terrible. I just
Suarez.
I can't stress enough. I hate the Suarez bet.
Mark it down,
That's
folks.
terrible,
Mark
dude.
it down.
Let me throw a number out here. I think he's gonna finish 18th.
Ooh,
He
okay.
finishes 18th.
Okay.
Like straight up, like no problems. We just never see him.
We don't. It's going to be a quiet top 10. It will be a very, very quiet top 10. It'll probably be a Ross 10th. It'll be why. And I said Ross is in the graveyard here. I am betting on him to win, but
I know.
I'll be there. He's my boy.
I
Don't take that one.
No, I mean if you go there, you got to change it up, right?
You got to. So we went with 2 winners.
When you went crazy, I thought you were gonna say. I don't know if you saw this. Clint Boyer's racing the truck race.
I saw that.
I thought
Yeah.
you were gonna be like Clint Boyer to win the truck race.
No.
Plus 15,000.
Dude, now that's making me interested. Let me check.
I bet the odds are pretty good because all these people are going to take the sucker bet.
Yeah.
It's probably move the odds on it.
Yeah.
Maybe not now. I bet they don't even have it open.
Should be.
Think so?
Wednesday? Yeah.
Yeah, it is Wednesday.
They haven't practiced yet or anything. Because they'll do that tomorrow.
I'm more interested because he's racing that Spire truck. And just to go back to Coil of Joy, he's raced that Spire truck and has never had success.
Mm-hmm.
And every other person that races it has either won or finished top 5.
Yeah. On FanDuel, you can just bet on champions.
Yeah.
Let me check one more
Where's
book.
the love for the trucks?
I know. There's no love. There's normally love on DraftKings.
Why is
for
it
the
easier
trucks.
to bet on European basketball than
Yes.
the truck series?
Yeah. I can bet on Chinese swimming right now. I can't bet on Clint Boyer to win a truck race. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Not as familiar with DraftKings, so hold on.
I think Clint Boyer runs that race and gets out completely gassed.
Think so?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
He was never in good shape when he was racing.
No, that's true.
He hasn't been in a NASCAR race in 4 years.
Yeah.
He ran those SRX races last year, which are not that long.
No. Nope, they don't have it on DraftKings either.
Well, good. It might have saved you.
Yeah.
I for some reason I thought that's where you're going with that.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's good.
How you feel about the Ricky one? You feel
I feel
you feel
good
more
about
confident
it.
about that than the Suarez one for sure?
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But I think it was Iowa. Like he finished 6th or something.
Oh, I don't
At
know about
Iowa?
that. Maybe he did. I got it. I
You
got
got
it. Yeah, I got it.
I think it was Iowa. He had like a sneaky. I think it was a little bit of strategy that got him up there, but he's getting a lot better at retaining position if he's up there on strategy. He's getting a lot better about not wrecking cars. No, really. I think he is.
Yeah.
You don't
Ricky,
agree?
no, I'm just saying I can't even find him.
Let's go to his Wikipedia page.
No. He finished 5th.
5th?
5th. Yeah.
At Iowa.
At Iowa. Yeah.
Where did he finish last week?
In New Hampshire,
Yeah.
he finished
I'm going to guess 17th.
17th. Ricky, keep scrolling. Why can't I find his name?
Dude,
He finished 7th. He's off 2
What?
top 10s in a row.
No,
Yeah,
he did not.
Yeah, I swear to
No, he did not.
look at that. 7th.
Wow.
7th.
And he was plus 700 on a
700.
top 10? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good bet.
Okay.
I think I'd take my half unit away from Chastain and put it on
No. I know that I put that half unit on. He's not going to win, but
Yeah.
if I hit the plus 700, I don't care. And if
So are we officially going up to 3.5 units per week?
no, we're not.
It's 2 weeks in a row.
I know, but you talked me into Justin Haley on air, and Justin Haley looked good for the entire time. And I'm going to be at the race, so I wanted to have a little bit more,
Okay.
a little bit
I
more,
like
a little more fun this week.
I like that. So predictions, we'll kind of do this quickly because I really have a good stupid question that I want to get into. 1 1/3 mile concrete track. I need to look at the banking, but it's almost like a little bit of a bigger Dover, I think,
It is
because it's concrete.
Mhm.
Owned by the same people. I think the same people that built Dover, or
Oh,
at least owned it. At one time before it was
That may be true. I don't know about
I
that.
think it was very similarly built.
I don't think it's quite as banked as Dover.
Okay,
But
because Dover's huge banking, right?
Dover
Yeah.
is pretty extreme, but there is definitely a decent amount of banking that you
we're
would
finally
not.
off the flat tracks.
Yes, yeah.
Chevy's undefeated. We talked about that. Hot and slick. Do you remember? I remember when they first started going here. It was one of the few places cars would actually spin out.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's hard to drive. It's going to be ungodly hot.
Yep.
Feel for y'all that'll be there. Do you remember if tires matter? No, I just don't remember.
Not that I've seen. Not that I remember. Now you have to take into account the third time we went there. It was a night race.
Yeah.
So that kind of skews things a little bit because that was a big temperature change.
Yeah.
Because the first time we were there, it was 98, 99. The second time we were there, it was the same. And I think this past one, it was a night race. And we had rain.
Okay.
Because I remember standing under the grandstands getting wet. And they delayed the race. Some of the guys that I came with went home because we didn't know if we were going to get back racing.
Right.
And we end up going back racing. But who knows, that may have skewed my averages and everything.
Yeah.
But
I just we don't have a big sample size, but I don't remember this being like a crazy race, like multiple lanes or anything. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think there's 2 lanes that you can make work. You can make the top work, and of course the bottom's probably going to be the preferred line. But I could see a Larson gripping the top.
Yeah. I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be. I mean, if it's not Chevy, I'll be so surprised.
Yeah.
I really will be. You all right over there?
Yeah, my chair it's done it
No,
like
it's
4
not
times.
working
Do
for you,
you see my eye level just keep going down?
Just keep
It's
going
sinking.
Let's close out here. I think we've ran a little long, so we want to do something next week.
It's so funny, yeah, because you guys don't hear what we talk about before the show, and
Like, it'll be quick. It'll be
Austin
quick.
loves to come in here and go, I think it'll be quick this week.
It never is.
It never is.
But something cool I wanted to do, or Spencer wanted to do, I think it's a really good idea, is we'll do paint schemes.
Yeah.
You want
Let me show yours first.
Oh, you want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's just get into it. We'll make it quick. So we're going to try to pick our favorite paint scheme
Of the week.
for the upcoming week.
Yep.
Corey Heim is running this for 2311. It's so simple. It's just really clean. I still hate the number in front, but I think they did a decent job.
Yeah.
With this paint scheme, but a black and gold Mobile 1. You don't see that. You don't see that much.
So slick.
And then I just want to say honorable mention. The whole reason we were doing this was for Bubba's car.
Yeah,
and neither of us picked it. But Bubba's got a really cool Luke Combs. Camo car. I love camo with the orange because it just pops.
Cambo with the orange, Columbia on the side in orange. Yeah. It is a nasty looking car.
Yeah, it's a good car.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can. He needs some good luck too. Honestly.
So, yeah, he really does.
But let's get into what your pick of the week is.
My pick of the week is my boy Noah in the Winchester. Just to me,
what an American scheme.
Yes, what an American scheme. We're almost at 4th of July. I can make it a little bigger. Again, Winchester on the side. That to me, that's in that font, blue, red, white. Can't get any better colors.
And I'm pretty sure he's got Bass Pro.
Bass Pro on the hood. Yeah. Flag on the side. Go get you a top 10, Noah. Go get you a top 10.
He needs one.
He needs one bad.
I don't know where he's going either. I mean, obviously, I think he's going to land in a cup ride, but
yeah.
Yeah, I think those are two schemes. Obviously, like we said, Bubba's. It's always weird to me. This is why all these go an hour and 45 minutes. You see this decal right here?
Yeah.
What does that look like to you? Like, just look at it. Well, don't zoom in on it.
Oh.
Like, what does that look like to you?
Looks like a number 3.
Does it not look like the
Yeah.
So it's like the NASCAR Support the Troops logo.
Oh.
And they've always ran it. I shouldn't say always.
Dude, when you zoom out like that, that's a 3.
Every time I see it on TV and in person, I'm like, why are they running the Dale 3? But it's like, it says like NASCAR supports the troops or something like that. And then it's like the American flag. But I'm telling you, when you're zoomed way out, that's the Dale 3.
Dude, that's
it almost
crazy.
Looks like how Kevin used to put the 3 on his car.
Yeah.
The first time I ever saw it, I was like, I guess they're just all running 3s.
I know you guys probably can't see it as good as we can.
No, you can't. That's a terrible thing for me to point out.
Yeah, but he is talking about off the front left tire here, there is a little decal, and literally when you zoom out of it completely to the way we have it, it looks exactly like a 3. Now it's small. It's probably
it looks like the Dale 3.
Yeah, more. It exactly looks like that same font. That's wild. But
yeah, that was good. Good to point out on when the viewers can't see, I guess.
Yeah.
Y'all are gonna take it though, either way.
Our
stupid question. I'm sorry. Did you have something else?
No, I was just gonna say that's our paint schemes this week,
and
if you have your favorite paint scheme, leave it in the comments, and we'll see how wrong you were about it.
Stupid questions. Me and Spencer, we talked about this before, and I kind of had the same one.
Yeah.
Spencer, my stupid question, especially for someone who's deciding to pay money to go to Nashville.
Yeah.
Why does Nashville Superspeedway hate their fans?
Dude, this is the reason that I keep going to this track is because I went to the first Cup race back.
Yeah.
And we have...
and I was there too. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Larson burned it down the whole straight.
It was amazing. The atmosphere, the place was sold out. They had to add stands. It was unreal. Mm-hmm. Parking was horrible. Yeah. We didn't care. We got to the race. We enjoyed it. And to be a SMI track, dude, they just love to not let fans have any fun. Like they were like, oh, we could have a Talladega type of culture. No, we're gonna be Mormons.
Yeah,
and
we want to talk about how. Here's what gets me about it. They're like, Nashville, such a party town.
Yes,
have a good time. First off, we're in Lebanon.
Yeah,
that is not Nashville.
We're 30 minutes away from.
Yeah, I think it's more than that. From downtown Nashville, like if you went
downtown 45.
If you went from the fairgrounds to there,
20 minutes.
No, dude, I bet it's like 50.
From
the Fairgrounds Speedway to Nashville Superspeedway.
Oh, I thought you were saying from downtown. Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
The Fairgrounds Speedway is downtown.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 20 minutes.
50.
20 minutes from the Fairgrounds Speedway to downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I understand.
You are right. I know that's what you wanted to hear. You son of a gun.
I was confused. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah. You are correct.
Yeah. You're correct
saying,
too.
Yeah.
We're both right.
Yeah.
Understood. So, and I know that's a lot of Nashville or a lot of NASCAR tracks. They put the big city name, but I feel like this one more than any of them, they like pound on
Nashville.
Broadway.
Yes.
I'm like, we're in Lebanon.
Yeah.
The closest thing is the Tanger Outlet that got closed down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you got Cahoots. I don't know if you've ever been to Cahoots.
I've never been to Cahoots.
It's like the Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah.
Imagine like.
Is that like was it Silverados at one point?
It could have been.
That was like the only.
I don't ever remember.
That was like the only bar / honky tonk in Lebanon was Silverados.
Silverados. It's like 3 times smaller than the Cotton Eye Joe, but it's like the same.
I bet that's the same place because there was
crowd.
like a shooting at Silverados.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then they reopened it.
Classic. Just change the name.
Yeah. Shooting never happened.
Yeah. Not here.
Not here. Not at Cahoots.
Not at Cahoots. I think that place is called Silverados.
Yeah.
But anyway, kind of what we're getting at. The first year, you couldn't bring a cooler in.
Nope.
And you couldn't even bring water in the first year.
No. Right? No. You've never been able to bring anything in.
Never been able to bring that in, which is the perk of going to a NASCAR race.
Yes.
Because it is expensive.
Yes.
Every sporting event's expensive.
Yeah.
Right? But what we have on our side, it'd bring you a ham sandwich and a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah.
have a ball.
Yeah.
Right? Not in Nashville. And then this year, brand new, which I guess before you could do this, and maybe I can't remember or not, but evidently it's new this year, no outside food.
Yeah.
So now you can't even bring a Slim Jim in your back pocket.
They want you to bring, it's going to be 102 degrees probably around the start of the race. And that it may be like 99. Real field could be ungodly.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be in the triple digits.
Aluminum bleachers around a concrete track.
Yes. Watching cars go fast.
Yeah.
Okay. You cannot bring in water. They want you to bring your own cup and fill it up at their water station.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think that's like what prison is like.
Yeah. Come on.
Might be better.
But the part that irks me the most, is they have signs everywhere. And you know me, we're camping. So it's not a big deal for me to bring my backpack cooler and fill it up. If they turn me away, I get turned away. I can go back, take 10 minutes, I'll be back at the track, whatever. Okay? I fill up my backpack cooler that I have sitting here with a bunch of beer. Okay? For the truck race. Okay?
Okay.
Flip it open like you do at Bristol and move a little ice. You got glass? No glass. On you go.
That's what they did?
Yes, sir. On you go. I said, okay. I literally walked past 19 signs that says
no beer, no beer.
Not just beer, like no coolers.
Yeah, no
I'm
liquid.
like, okay.
Please have a heat stroke today.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Go into the Xfinity race the next day. Watched it. Same thing. Nothing. I asked the lady, I said, are we going to be able to do this tomorrow? I've done it twice.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I've done it twice.
Now you're trying to do the right thing.
Yes. I'm like, look here. And she's like, maybe. I'm like, okay. So now I'm having a grand old time because this is the main event.
Yeah.
We pack her full. Okay. We pack her full. I said, boys, I don't know if they're going to. So, you know, we always like to go to the pre-race stuff and go around to all the trailers, look at the merch and just chill out before the race, before driver intros or whatever. And I was like, I'm going to go try to get in. If I get in, I'll sit in there. You guys, you know, go get me, whatever. But I'll sit in here and make sure we have, you know, some drinks at the event. And I get up there and she's like, sir, you're going to have to take that cooler back.
Lady?
No, different lady. But I was like, I brought it in the past 2 days though. And she was like, not today. I'm like, be consistent.
Right.
Be consistent.
No. What is NASCAR's consistency?
Zero.
Inconsistency.
Yeah. So
they're on track.
Well, the whole reason I tell that story is to tell. So I come out. Of course, they were watching me, all the guys that we were with, and I turned around and I said, "Boys, we got 24 beer to drink in in an hour," and we killed them all before we went in.
Wow.
And I got to bring in an empty cooler. So
nice.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Did they even let you bring the ice in?
No, they made me dump it out. I swear to God.
You're joking.
I swear to God.
Hey, you can't even suck on an ice cube. In this
No,
place.
sir. No, sir. Dump it.
So the first year we went, we kind of got a little bit of a hookup through my dad, and we parked in the infield.
Yeah.
We had VIP passes and stuff. And I just drove in there with a cooler.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that was completely different.
Yeah.
But I mean, that makes no sense.
No,
that makes zero sense.
And we've said this before. It's an SMI track that we've been to Bristol countless times.
Yeah. Well, it makes me worry.
Yes, you've said that to me before.
Because I went to Wilkesboro this year, and I'm like, I guarantee, because Wilkesboro was newer, not newer, but you know, as far as opening up, than Nashville, and I was like, there's no way they let us bring a cooler in, and they did. And when I say bring a cooler in, dude, I could have brought a Yeti 45 in there. They didn't care. Yeah, they didn't care. And what's funny, I remember 4 or 5 years ago, you know the little Yeti, the roadie?
Yes. Yeah, the 20, the 25.
It's got like a single handle, which still...
That's big.
Big cooler.
That's big.
I saw a guy walking into Bristol holding it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And I remember growing up at Texas, they'd have like little dowel rods pre-measured, and they'd like hold them up, and they half-ass cared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, no, I mean, it just... It's so inconsistent.
No.
I mean... We go from Nashville, you can't even bring water in when it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And then Bristol, some dude's bringing a Yeti roadie in. It makes sense. I don't know why they hate their fans. And I mean, as big as they're trying to make that market, They got in that market at a good time.
Yes,
right?
they
'Cause,
did.
I mean, Nashville's exploded.
Popping. You're 50
Obviously,
minutes.
we're trying. I think I haven't heard anything about it lately. The goal is to eventually be at the fairgrounds, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of testing it out here, which is fine with me. I think the ultimate weekend would be do Trucks and Xfinity at Lebanon.
Yeah.
And then have your cup race
at
over
the
there.
fairgrounds.
And that way
yeah.
we were satisfying all these people who are like, we don't want a bunch of racing.
Mm-hmm.
You just have one day of racing.
Yeah.
On Sunday. And
I'd be cool with that.
Maybe we'll get there.
Maybe.
Because still, I think that'd be even better because you get a hotel in Lebanon, which has got to be cheaper than Nashville.
Oh,
right?
100%. Yeah.
And then you just drive the 45, 50 minutes in.
Yeah. Or camp at Nashville because there's nowhere to camp at the fairgrounds. No. I don't know if you've been there in a minute. They have built everything around that thing.
Well,
it's where the new MLS stadium is.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay.
Well, I went to the last race there in 2010.
Oh,
this is like how many times have they said they're going to close that place?
Oh, a billion.
You grew up around there too.
Yeah.
And so they had the official last race.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but I mean, packed.
Yeah.
Packed, and then they built the MLS stadium, and then we went to the SRX race there.
Yep.
2 years in a row. And then they have a short track inside the shorter track.
Yep.
And they put dirt on it. And I've been to a World of Outlaws.
That's
sprint car race
sweet.
At Nashville. So I've been to Nashville Fairgrounds. We went once before the last one. Went to the last one. World of Outlaws, 2 SRX races.
Wow. So
it's
5 times.
Cool, but
yeah.
I mean, they need to fix it up. They got a lot of work to do there if they want to have a legit.
Yes,
I mean it's race.
Facilities. Facilities are all
terrible.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're terrible.
They're bad. So, but I'm gonna meet Ross Chastain there this weekend, so I don't care. I'm excited about that. We're gonna go watch him race at on Thursday
bring
night.
Any bush lights in.
Hey, maybe there at the fairgrounds they don't care.
Oh yeah, at the fairgrounds they don't care.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't remember.
We sat in the pits the one other time I've been there, and which is where we're sitting now, and they didn't care.
Okay.
So, but granted, it was a late model.
Well, that's what this is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Just a late model race.
Yeah, just a late model race, but there wasn't as hot. There was no one high profile there, so I don't know if that means anything.
I think it's Ross Chastain and William Byron
racing in that.
Yeah, you can kind of do a little closeout, and I want to double check on that.
Yeah, no. Nashville hates their fans.
They do. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it is such a good market that we really should. I'm not saying maybe create a Talladega, Daytona type of culture, but it definitely should be up there as like, hey, when you come here, you're gonna see some good racing, but you're going to have a great time.
Yeah,
and and you can't tell me, oh, there's nothing around. There's nothing around Talladega. There's nothing. You go there, you have a great time. That's what Nashville should be. And hopefully they hear this. I know Twitter's trying.
That's the other thing is, I mean, the first year, that Randy the plumber guy, you remember him?
Yes.
Just being absolutely obnoxious about it, and you're like, okay, this'll.
Yeah.
He stirred up enough buzz, but he didn't. So I don't know what we're gonna do. It's Josh Berry.
Josh Berry,
yeah, so
my god!
So you got Josh Berry, which I would think he's going to dominate.
Yeah, dude, that's going to be his
thing.
bread and butter. Dang it, I was really hoping I'd see Ross win. But.
I think he's racing. I would imagine something with Rodney Childers, right?
Yeah,
like
it would have to be
or something.
Yeah.
It might even be one of Harvick's cars. Harvick is racing a late model.
Dude, did you see that 62?
62?
60.
Yeah, it was sweet.
It was so good
5
looking.
flags. So that's where they do the snowball.
Yep.
6/28, 24. That's in 2 days.
Yep.
So why would he not just race Nashville?
I know.
That makes no sense because he's gonna. Well, he's not gonna be there because it's NBC.
Yep.
I think that's a huge missed opportunity there.
It is. It definitely is.
I don't get that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
you ready?
We've talked enough. Yeah, we're ready. Close us on out.
All right. Hey, thank you guys. We appreciate it. I know it was long, but I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and can't wait for the rest of the year. It's going to even just get better.
Yeah.
Keeps getting better. So thank you guys. We'll see y'all.
See you.
South Lane.